What is up, guys? I'm They Coming, and welcome to today's live video on YouTube. Today we have a special guest with us. Today we have Shahid of the Boston Tea Party, and he's going to be walking us through how to use Hog Riders at Town Hall 10. And I could not think of a better person to come on the channel today because he absolutely crushes it with hogs. So Shahid, why don't you say hello, man?
Hello everyone. How you all doing?
So before you came to Boston Tea Party, what clans were you in before you found your way here?
I've been clashing for 4 years, and I joined Boston Tea Party 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
before that, it was mainly just consisted of 3 clans. I run a clan by myself, a war clan, as a leader, and I also spent a few months at One Hive.
That's awesome.
And that's
Sick.
pretty much it.
So you spent just a few months at One Hive. Why did you leave? You mind me asking?
I think yeah, it's mainly just like I couldn't commit as much time to the game at then because I had obviously the work and family. So
Okay.
I didn't want to
Fair.
be a liability to the clan. So that's pretty much it.
That sounds like a perfect reason, man. One Hive is definitely a very competitive clan, and I do understand that the time commitment for that clan is pretty high. But
of course.
anyways, so you're a master of the Hog Riders. You have an insanely high hit rate for us in Boston Tea Party fresh. I mean, you're killing. You were telling me you have about a 70% hit rate fresh, and then we were also talking about if the base has been hit once before, it's pretty much a done deal on your second hit, basically.
Yeah.
So we do have some questions. I do want to sort of pick your brain a little bit, and the first one is just sort of like an opinion from you. Why do you think that this attack strategy is so dominant right now?
First of all, obviously, first when the siege came out, I've been trying many different strategies. So I've been trying siege only attacks with miners, mass Lalo, and then bringing the mass hogs with it. And I've had like much more success with hogs. Especially just I feel 40 hogs. I mean, like, has anyone heard of 40 hogs and 4 hills or even 5 hills? Like, this sounds pretty OP.
Yeah, and I definitely this time last year, this was not happening. This this was not part of the meta. So yeah, and to kind of build on that, what base characteristics are you really looking for when you're doing this hit?
There's not like specific base characteristics. Pretty much you can hit any base using this strategy. The only base that you cannot hit is if the queen was right next to the town hall, because that would mean the base is actually anti-siege.
Okay.
So yeah, so like mainly any base, because you could bring many like different varieties of the attack. For example, if the queen is more to the center of the base, you could choose to just bring a golem just to give extra tanking for your siege to maybe get extra layer wall breaks, or sometimes you could just bring freezes for the infernos just to kind of give your siege an extra push. But yeah, it's mainly just any type base except for one where the queen would actually be next to the town hall.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Cool. And with that siege, you intend to take out the queen. This is the end goal, right?
Oh yeah, of course. The main goal of the siege is actually to get the queen down and just get some sort of value with the defenses in the area. So when your siege deploys, get the queen down and just other useful stuff that would kind of help your hogs or just your hog pathing in general. That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. Well, I have the replay of you FCing with JFM right here, and if you're ready to go, we can push play. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And so Shahid's going to talk us through this sort of in real time. So I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1, play. All right.
Okay, so I dropped my heroes first in front of the siege to kind of give the siege some extra tanking. As you can see right now, the siege is not being targeted. It's pretty much full health going into his first layer wall break, and my
Interesting.
heroes are pretty much getting lots of value. So, the siege is pretty deep in the base right now,
Yeah, I
and
see that.
yeah, and it being full health is actually giving me an advantage because it wasn't full health. Obviously, it was half health, but it gave me enough time to poison the loons in the CC.
Perfect.
Because if the siege had popped early and those loons had not gone down, those Varks may have gotten roasted like pretty quickly. So I think it was kind of important to have the siege kind of
Okay.
at as much health as it can be.
Can
And
I
now,
ask you a question?
yeah,
Right here, your queen is on the bottom side of the base, and you start the hogs from the top.
yeah,
If the queen had actually gone into the base, as opposed to come down to the bottom, that would not have changed your choice to start the hogs at the top versus the bottom.
no,
Oh, okay. Because I was just sort of thinking to myself, you know, maybe protect the queen so she's on the job for cleanup.
yeah.
Is that something that you would ever consider?
I've considered it before, but I've got like sufficient cleanup troops,
Okay.
so I don't really see why I should change up my whole hog deployment that I may not have planned just to keep the queen alive. Because if I've got sufficient cleanup and if I've got the time left in the attack, I can just maybe like let her die. Like it's not much of a big deal if I've got the cleanup to back it up.
Perfect. Really nice answer, man. That was something that was sticking out to me because I did peep on this replay before we ran the video, and that was something that I was sort of thinking as well. Also, you also touched on the other thing that I was going to ask you, and that was why you put your king down before the siege. And so that is definitely something that I had not thought about myself before. And so putting the king to tank for the siege just so it gets through more walls. Nice job there, bud. That I will definitely be considering that when I do more of these hits myself.
Oh yeah, I feel it was like a cheap way of like not having to bring freezes in an attack.
Yeah.
So just dropping your king down, having all those point defenses distracted on your king, your siege is pretty much gonna get the first layer wall break and pretty much full health, and that's really advantageous to like not having to bring the freeze.
Okay. So I have a couple more questions for you, and then after these next couple questions, we are going to actually watch Shahid do a live war attack for us, and so we're going to be sort of going through the scouting with him on that. But before we do that, I wanted to go ahead and ask, when would you elect for a wall wrecker or instead of a battle blimp, or vice versa?
That's a really good question. It's just sometimes it could be a tough call. Obviously, it depends. One factor is if there's an inferno that's kind of relatively close to one side of the base, where if he snuck in a siege, the inferno would target it as soon as it goes for the first layer wall break. So if the inferno is kind of close to the outside of the base, then sometimes you could just bring a blimp, so your blimp can literally just obviously fly over, and you can just deploy it on top of the inferno with a few Valks and stuff. But that's one reason. And another factor is if there's like high hit point structures outside the walls. For example, if there's a few storages that your siege is gonna have to deal with before it gets the wall break, then it may just be better to just fly a blimp over it. And obviously another factor is just the sweepers, the direction of the sweepers, or whether there's lots of air targeting defenses at where you want to deploy your siege.
All right.
So if there's like a few air defenses and a few arch towers, then it is like obviously best suited you don't bring a blimp. But that's mainly the reasons that kind of impact my decision on whether I should bring a blimp or a wall wrecker. All
right. It sounds like you definitely have sort of plans for all of those, I guess, all of those layouts basically. But it also sounds like that it's pretty nuanced. Like you have to understand, like realistically, how far a wrecker is going to get in certain situations, and how far a blimp is going to be able to get in certain situations.
Oh
and
yeah,
you know, just sort of feeling that out yourself as you practice more with it. Would you say that's fair?
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Also, last question before we do his live war attack here. Do you find spotters to be particularly helpful when you do these
um,
hits?
I mean, of course, he wouldn't. Spotter, so basically, is the most like useful tool,
Mm-hmm.
like useful thing you could bring to when you do an attack where you have people in the background helping you. But sometimes, like I wouldn't need spotters because we would have planned the attack so well before before I went in. So like all the like all the unexpected events that would actually occur in an attack,
Mm-hmm.
like for example troll Teslas or just anything which is unexpected,
Yeah.
it would have all been accounted for in the planning process of the attack.
Mm-hmm.
So spotters are helpful, but sometimes they just sit in the background where they wouldn't have to tell me anything, which is mostly the case.
Very nice then. That's actually really, really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Just not really not really needing it most of the time, it sounds like, for you. So that's awesome, man.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
anyways, why don't we get into your war attack? Why don't you tell me which base that you plan on hitting? Shahid has done this plan long before we decided to film this video, just so we had it really underneath his paws. Which base were you looking at?
I was looking at base number 11.
Okay.
I see I could sneak in the siege at 7 o'clock.
So down here by the cannon.
Yeah, the queen is relatively close to the outside.
Okay.
Well, she's kind of centered because she's just right next to the CC. So, and there's also an inferno tower that could reach to outside the walls.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually drop my king. First of all, I'm going to drop my king at the elixir collector at 7.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have the king tank for my siege, especially the barbarians when I pop his ability. They're kind of going to distract the single target, which should allow my siege to actually go in and potentially get the second layer wall break to where the inferno and the cannon is, which will give me access to the queen. So I've chosen to bring bowlers in CC simply because the queen is she's more to like the center, and in case she doesn't hop the wall and if my siege pops early, then it would be difficult to actually get the queen kill, especially with the CC to deal with, which I don't need the troops in. So I brought in bowlers because they can just kill the queen if she's outside the wall. So
perfect. Okay.
Yeah, that's just the kill squad.
And just for the record, typically you're running one of two things. It's giant bowler or Valks, correct?
Yeah.
And so in this instance, you're running giant bowler.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So after you get the queen kill, what's gonna happen next?
I'm going to I'll be ready to drop my hogs. I'll drop my hogs at an anti-clockwise motion. So from 6 o'clock where those air defenses are.
Okay.
I'm just gonna do like maybe a wall of like 30 hogs.
Okay.
And then just hold some hogs so I can just reinforce at the outside defenses where you can see the arch tower, wizard tower at 1 o'clock, but also the arch tower at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm holding reinforcements so I can deploy them so they converge with the main stream of hogs, so my hogs don't split mid-attack.
Okay.
And having 4 heals, I should have 1 heal going into the last inferno at 10 o'clock. And I expect my hogs to end at the king. So as soon as my hogs get those point defense down at 10, the king is right there. They're gonna get the king down and just clean up on the base. But 4 heals, my first heal should just mainly be for where the wizard tower is at 4 o'clock, and the others just depend on how the attack goes, and that's pretty much the plan.
Okay. One thing that you didn't mention, I think I may have stopped you before you said it. What are you doing with
Yeah.
your queen?
Okay. So, whew, we don't know what's in the CC. It could be a hound loon or it could be a non-hound loon. Um, I've decided to actually drop my queen with my siege, regardless of what's in the CC.
All right.
There's a lot of point defenses. So there's the cannon and the arch tower at the left side of the DE storage.
I see that.
So that if I drop my queen, she could help get those defenses down. So my bowlers wouldn't have to backtrack before they go for the queen.
Alrighty.
And if a hound loon does come up, if my queen has like sufficient health on their rage to actually get the hound down, I wouldn't mind popping her ability because I would have the poisons. But if she's kind of low on health, I would just let the queen die and just start my hogs.
Pro play.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I think a lot of people need to remember sometimes, is that if it's just your queen and she's being murdered by other point defense and there's a hound, you shouldn't pop her most of the time, because that hound produces a lot of pups, and those pups will then script the rest of your hit potentially. So we will definitely be on the lookout for that. But with that being said, are you ready to do this hit live for us?
Yep. Let's do this.
Okie dokie, man. Well, I'm here. I've heard the plan. And go in when you're ready.
Okay. Just quick preview.
I think he's adjusting some of his troops, guys. Don't worry.
Okay, we are in.
Okay.
Just double checking everything.
All right, so he's live.
Okay. Why don't we just start up with funneling? Just drop a wizard at 6, the camper to build out.
Okay.
And drop my king. Let's drop a baby.
Nicely done. King comes in. Queen's getting kind of low. Hold that ability. Yeah. Nice. Hound Loon. Okay, so this is the scenario where you want the queen to die.
Yeah.
So hands off. Nice. Great value right there, bud. Looks like the Hound will probably end up popping anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So just keep your eye on that for a minute. I think you should wait. Good job. First seal, I think, was good. That queen. Popper. Yeah, good job. One poison down. All right, one pup is going for the hogs. Otherwise, you're looking fine.
Yeah. I'm just going to start clean up.
Yeah, keep healing. Ooh, you got a lot of hogs up, man. Heal again. Nice. Keep going, keep going, keep pushing. Bomb tower, need a little more healing. You're almost there. Almost there, dude. Almost there. Oh, it's gonna fall short.
Oh, no.
Wait, well, you don't have any hogs to run the base now. Oh, no.
Wow. Damn it.
These bombs at this top side, I think, screwed you up. You got a funny split at like 2.
Yep, I think what was the reason why I did not get the triple was I had to burn my last poison for the pups because my queen ended up popping the hound, so I had to poison the pups, which left me no poison to slow down the king and get the skeletons out that had popped. So
So in this instance, right, we know everything about the base now. There's literally nothing hidden. I mean, we know exactly how many ground skellies he's got. We know exactly how many air skellies he has, if he has any. I think he might have all grounds here. It looked like a ton following you at the end.
Yeah.
Knowing this, I think in my mind, there's probably one clear alteration to make to this plan.
Yeah, just don't send the queen in.
Just don't send the queen in. Honestly, as simple as that. Now that we know that it's Hound Loon, saving your queen, and where I'm going to go ahead and scout the base again. Where would you think you should put the queen down instead? Because this was still very close, I think.
Oh yeah, I think having the poison for the skeletons and to slow down the king would have actually been the decider. It would have caused the triple.
Yeah.
So not having the extra poison meant those skeletons and the king was literally beating up my hogs. So I would probably I would maybe just drop my queen at maybe 1 o'clock where the wizard tower, the notch tower is.
Boom. Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing. Like try to, because he's got some Teslas that are buried behind the double elixir storage. Like if you were to drop the queen to the, you know, the top of those two, like this one right here, if you're watching the video right now, she'd sort of free farm that, and then she'd have the potential to take out 2 Teslas and a wizard tower right there on that corner. And there's also a bomb sitting between. I think it might have been these two here, or maybe just south of the bomb.
I think there was a skeleton spell. No, it's a skeleton trap there.
Yeah, that's also valuable.
So the queen would have also got some skeletons down.
Yeah.
So that would have been just the optimal value.
Yeah.
I would get from the queen if I chose to drop her there.
Yeah. So I feel pretty confident that as long as someone has half a brain, that this base is going to be completely wrecked on the second hit. Just given
like pretty much every trap is like shown.
Yeah, every single trap is shown. Like, you know everything about the base. Having the extra poison in hand is going to be money for you. And also that queen getting value on that right side to help funnel the hogs. Like all the Teslas that he has sort of wrapping from like 2 to 4 really did sort of put a damper on some of the hog pathing, because you got a kind of a weird split with the double expo right there. But other than that, I thought it was a beautiful plan. Obviously, just the CC composition, I think, was what threw it off for you. And so, yeah. Anyways, is there anything else that you want to say before we end the video?
No, I think we covered most of the important stuff of the plan.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that everyone's looking forward to more of your war hits when we get back to CWL next weekend. We don't have one this weekend, guys. We have CW War the following weekend. And because you have 2 TH10s, and you're hitting like a madman with 2 TH10s using this strategy amongst some others. We won't disclose everything, but but this one seems to be a very dominant attack for you. So anyway, Shahid, thank you for coming on the channel. I appreciate you coming in to share this with us today. But
it's my pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. Anyways, guys, also thank you for coming to watch the live video. I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you learned something. Hope that you're going to take some of this information back to your clan and use it in your own wars. See you later.